Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune in to Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Live from Fort Myers. You're not shoveling any snow today.
No, how bad is it? How bad is it? We got a half a foot or what?
Well, it's all over the map, but we got enough. We got about 4 to 6 inches all around the metro area. This
is the type of snow where we lose some hands digging into the snow blowers, right?
She's
trying
thick.
to get the clog out.
Yeah, she's thick. Not only that, right?
3 of my fingers have gotten mashed. So.
Not only that, Pat, but you occasionally lose a couple of marriages, or they're actually tested a little bit. When this guy I know that lives in South St. Paul was out there with his wife, and he's got a Honda snowblower that was given to him by the host of Garage Logic 2 homes ago, about 13 years ago.
So it's not secondhand, it's fourth hand.
It's rode hard and put away wet. Let's put it that way. And when the husband fired it up, and they were cleaning out the driveway with the wife out there, she saw how minuscule, how little snow was being thrown, and she said, that snowblower doesn't work. And I said, well, here, you try it. So she tried it, looked at it for about 10 seconds and said, this thing stinks, let's get rid of it. And I thought, you didn't even learn how to work it, and she said, give me my shovel.
You got Reavers right next to you. Fred Aloni's best friend. Let's go get one.
Why don't you just talk to Fred?
It might be time. It might be time. The Honda was great.
Easy payment time.
Yes.
The Honda did last 13 years.
Give him a 12-pack of high-quality beer and make the payment slow and easy.
Pat, you know what the best part about doing the beer show with my guy Fred Aloni is? The delight in his eyes when he starts to see the snow fall outside.
He's just like
he's just wringing his hands.
The guy you're talking to right now, back in his snowplow days, used to refer to it as white gold.
White gold, baby.
Gold.
I remember those white gold checks were delicious.
White gold today. Only 4 miles from beautiful Hammond Stadium, where I'm pretty much all by myself today. On a cloudy day, by the way. There's some blue up here, but on a cloudy day, but no snow in the forecast. The Twins opened their exhibition season, their real exhibition season, and lost 4-3 to the Red Sox over there. Ryan Lamar had all 3 RBIs. He got hit with a bases loaded in the 7th inning, and then he drove in 2 runs in the 9th inning. Then the Twins hit into a double play and left the tying run on base, which I'm sure everybody was happy about because they didn't have to play extra innings. But Ryan Lamar is a Michigan kid, and while there, he met Whitney Tanny, the legendary tennis player from Edina High School.
Oh, nice.
And they are now man and wife.
Oh.
He married her, and she had a nice high school career. She was 166-0.
Oh,
yeah, tough to beat is what that is.
150-0 in singles and 16-0 in doubles. But they met as Michigan athletes, and if he makes the club, she can move back home. Probably. He's right now. He's 29 years old and was signed as a 6-year minor league free agent as an outfielder who will probably play in Rochester. So
those ball
3
players.
RBIs today.
They like those Minnesota gals, and they always end up coming home, don't they?
Not as bad as hockey players. The hockey players always come home because the ball players. The ball player from California who meets a Minnesota girl or something.
She wants to live in California.
No. Not in the winter, huh?
No.
But the hockey players, they're used to it. That's
right.
They're used to the winter, so they are easily talked into it because they go to the lake in the winter, summer anyway. What do they care?
And speaking of that, Patrick, as much like what Rook's dilemma was clearing the driveway, I kind of went through the same thing with my gal. we spent almost a week last week in San Diego. So as I'm shoveling the driveway before she had to go to work, she said, let's just move back to where we were a week ago. And I thought, I can't really combat that to a woman that makes more money than I do. That's always the challenge that I face.
Yes, dear.
She makes the rules in our house.
Yeah, well, that as well she should.
Well, I think
Meanwhile,
Pat
Mrs.
has the some situation with the bride making
Mrs.
more.
Ricey is home right now and relying on the kindness of others to get the walk shoveled, I'm sure, because I hope she doesn't get out there.
Well, we've got some good melt going on right now, but the problem is we got about another half a foot to a foot coming down on us tomorrow, starting at about 3 o'clock.
Before I left, I sent a check I had a bill from the guy who plows the driveway.
Sure. Yep.
And I send it's $30 a pop. So I sent $150 advance.
Yep.
I don't think it's handling it. I think we've had too many 3-inch snowfalls.
Well, wait, when did you send it?
I still owe money.
When did you
Early
send
January.
You might be all right.
Well, the road usually
I think
is.
We've had more than 5 because he gets the 2-3-incher too. So.
It's 2 inches. They say, "Oh yeah, I got to get out there and clean that thing up." It's a nuisance. It's a
Yes,
nuisance.
it is.
Here's what's
Yes.
great, too. He could say, well, I've been to your house 9 times. You're in Florida. What do you know?
Right.
We used to have a guy that before we got Steve, we had a guy who charged you for the year.
Oh, sure.
And then
Kind of rolling the dice,
it was
one flat
$250,
fee.
Okay, $200, $250 for the year, no matter what happened.
Yeah.
he plowed you. And there was a few times, that guy was still sitting home at Christmas, man, having beers, hadn't had to plow yet.
And he's just there counting.
Right.
This would be one of those winters where I think he'd be getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, you'd be using up
Because
some
there's
gas.
just been a
and
lot
mileage.
of nuisance snows, and now it seems like this one's a little more than a nuisance. So.
Well, it's the one where they say we're getting 14 inches on March 23rd, but it's going to melt, so I'm just going to let her go here. That's when you got to call them and say, I think you better come out here, Rick, and clean
Why
this
did you
driveway.
get out of the snow plowing business, man? That was a gold mine.
You know what? I don't even know why I did. It was by choice. I mean, I suppose I could get back into it. Nothing was better, though, on a 2 a.m., and the snow was lightly falling, and you were trying not to fall asleep in that truck. So you just open up the window. No, it was peaceful. I did love it.
That was probably when you were working mornings at the radio station.
I was
so you
working.
Kind of had to go directly to the
Yes.
to the show.
Because
but luckily, you had a lively partner in Jesse, so you would never fall asleep.
Exactly, and he knew the industry because he had his wife plowing driveways and other places around. Remember, the
She
first
plowed
lady
driveways?
she was out there. He had a blade on the front of their Bronco or whatever
And
they had,
were-
Suburban.
And as kind as she was, Jesse probably wasn't letting her do it for free, huh?
You know what? Terry would have done it for free. Jesse probably said, "I want to see the reports."
Yes.
She was a sweetheart, and she probably just did it for the love of the game. She, she liked to buck as much as anybody
Would you guys
else.
talk shop then on the air about this subject once in a
No,
while?
he would accuse me of those two hosts back then at that time. The morning show host, Governor Ventura, would accuse me, they're grooming you for Souchere. Your loyalties are with Joe. And then I'd be working the board with Joe with my chin in the palm of my hand trying to stay awake. And he's like, you took all your time on Jesse's show in the morning. So I was kind of in between both worlds here for a while, working morning and after. Forget the fact that I was working morning and afternoons and plowing in between. But there was no mercy for that. They were accusatory of me working for the other show.
Well, I can imagine the governor being that way. He wanted to be a little protective.
They're grooming you for Souchere. I know it right now.
But he never really insisted that you find him guest, did he?
Tracy Tops was one. Tracy Tops, if you remember,
She
Tracy
was a dancer?
I don't even know what she was. She was in town. She must have been a dancer, a stripper.
Sounds like a name that comes out of a gentleman's club.
Well, and she had, I had to book her, and we booked her on the air, and she obviously was very top heavy, and she may have seen a plastic surgeon to get that.
Yeah.
And they were size of basketballs. And she came in and sat down in that tiny little Maplewood studio, and first thing she did when Jesse was introducing her, you could hear a Velcro rip, and down the top went. and out they came. And even the governor, the
right
future
out of
governor,
Howard Stern, huh?
right out of Howard Stern, and even the future governor showed me something that he was from Minneapolis and he had a great upbringing. When he didn't want to look because it was impolite to look, and he eventually said, I could see it. He just wouldn't stare, and he said, "You can go ahead and put that back on now." And it just showed me that, you know what, he can be all high and flying mighty, but he was raised well, I think, from his parents.
So what you're saying then is that was a better get than the time that you booked Billy Pierce?
Yeah,
for the
when
show?
we booked Billy Pierce, that was when I feared for my life. All right, Billy, that's just rookie fooling around. So what have you been up to lately? Like, no, that was me doing Billy Pierce. I was not the real Billy Pierce. That one I was worried. That was those 3 points. Maybe Tracy Tops pretending to be Billy Pierce when I called in when I couldn't find Billy, and then putting suntan lotion or cream on his sunburned shoulders,
Attaboy.
which he told me again, Rook, don't ever tell anybody about this. So it proves that maybe he doesn't listen to the show because I've told the story a couple of times, so I'm surprised he doesn't have a covert operation team.
Well, right now he's off the grid. And he's in Cabo.
Yeah,
anyway.
he's down. He's way down there in the sand. But if he ever finds out that he I've never seen skin so red. And Rook, Terry wants me to ask you to put some lotion on my shoulders. And it was just the two of us in studio at 5:30. You know, I didn't know what kind
Who
of.
knows what it might have led to?
I didn't know what kind of small talk there was going to be. You know, do you like beer? What kind of beer do you like? Wine? Are we going to dinner after this? And where do I stop? Do I stop at the nipple, or do I go all the way down the back, or can I touch the biceps?
Oh my God!
It was
the body, man. All
it was a
right.
turning point in my career. You know, I feel like it wasn't really harassment, but I feel like I had to do some things to get forward my career that I'm not proud of.
I think you have a case.
Oh my God!
All right,
Well,
here. Hashtag Me Too, Rookie.
Yeah.
Send it out.
Not me too. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. Sports Talk, the weekday version. I'm still on Saturday Sports Talk, right? I think so. Weekday version with Royce live from Fort Myers. We'll be back.
You know, gentlemen, I'm not the world's biggest fan of modern music.
Yes.
And the Twins were on this modern music station with my guy Wessel and the rest of them, 96.3.
Yes.
And for several years, the station they owned. And while it would give me quite a fright in the morning if I was listening to the game, and then I'd go out and start my car up and had not turned the radio station off so that it would just burst onto the scene. I would always say, like, what the hell was that? You know, and then realize that it was.
Whoa.
But
Uh-oh.
now hanging out down here at the Hammond Stadium, and
It's growing on him.
And they have
hip-hop, Patrick?
No,
Hip-hop?
no. They've switched to the Big Neighbor, you know. So now when you walk into a room here, when the stadium's kind of quiet, but if the intercom is still on, you got the Big Neighbor on. I think I want to go back to the alternate modern music. Give me a break here. Who the hell is on opposite us? They suck.
Hi, gang. This is Cannon for Country House Bread.
Well, they should just rerun Cannon shows. Who the hell's on?
Oh, you're not talking about John, are you? When's John on? Mornings? Late mornings?
Hines on earlier in the day, isn't he?
I hope you're not talking about John. And what
Well,
about...
he wasn't talking. It was some gal and some guy interviewing.
No,
Okay.
John Williams left.
No, I mean Hines.
Oh no, Hines is on at 9. I
Okay,
think. He's
good.
on after Dave Lee.
Good. I was starting to sweat
Well,
there.
I don't know. I love John.
What about and Chad? When does Chad?
Chad's noon to 3, I think.
Okay.
You got the Paul and Jordana show 3 to 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Who's Paul? Oh, Douglas. Oh, okay. I don't mind
Oh,
insulting.
and Jordana Green.
Don't mind insulting him.
Right.
No, we've had feuds.
I was about to
before.
rip right into them, but now that you've told me their last names, I'm going to hold my tongue because I think they're nice people.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they are, but oof. It was whatever I was just listening to. Now, that maybe it was a cut from wherever they take their news from.
Listen as Royce backtracks.
No, we have
Well, no, I don't backtrack.
we have lost
I'm-
cousin Kyle as a producer to the John
Yes.
Hines broadcast. He went over to NPR, from what I understand.
You know who he got his recommendation from, don't you?
Come on.
Yeah.
You did? A family
I
member?
didn't tell him how close relatives we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
The best was Hines at the Hall of Fame speech back in September. You know, Joe had invited a bunch of us and some family members. Hines had every person he ever worked with in 25.
Which is a large
Oh,
group.
it was great. They were all rowdy and stuff. It was fantastic.
It was a large group, yes.
Pat, that's when
well-
I found out Donna down the hall, who works for My Talk, she also worked with John Hines. At the same time, I worked in the same building, and I don't remember.
God, how do you not?
That's how messed up I was.
Heinze, a
at the
legend.
time.
Donna, a wonderful professional.
Donna's
It
fantastic.
is really
yeah.
weird to work with radio lifers when you're just a couple of schleps like Joe and I who haven't worked anyplace else, because they've all worked everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they've
Right.
worked all
Remember
over
when I looked
town.
for- worked for
They've
Cumulus?
sold
Remember
all
I
over
looked for-
town. They've worked all over town, and we just got a couple of guys who won't leave. You know.
I wouldn't have left, but I was shown the door.
Well,
Yeah, he was asked.
that was a risk you took with your partner back then.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it was.
great as he was, he could. As I always said, our friend Yatesy didn't burn bridges; he nuked them.
Yeah, nothing left.
There was
Yeah.
nothing left.
You go
it was,
from loving him to want to kill him.
it was Hiroshima.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was. You know,
He was the guy in Raiders of the
it was
Lost
hard
Ark.
to get from one part of town to the other when that bridge was burned. Baby.
Yep.
He was like the guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark when they had that rope bridge from two cliffs. That
Chop
took
it
out the
down.
machete and just said, "We're going for a ride." Oh my
Well,
gosh!
anyway.
So the ballpark's quiet today, huh?
Oh, nobody's here. Me and the Crows.
You
That's
and
it.
George?
I haven't seen George out there today, and the field looks so damn good. I don't even think George can figure out something to do with it. It looks
Right,
so
no
good
offense.
right
Where
now.
are the boys?
They were right 4 miles up the road at Boston, where they lost 4-3. I was just telling the boys that Ryan Lamar, a 29-year-old outfielder that they signed as a 6-year free agent, drove in all 3 runs for the Twins today.
Oh.
And he is married to Whitney Taney, who was an Edina high school tennis legend and also went to Michigan, and they met at Michigan.
Huh.
But you know what her record was? I just told them, Kenny.
What's that?
150-0 in singles and
Are you-
16-0 in doubles. Never
Are you
lost a high
kidding
school
me?
match.
Undefeated.
Oh,
Undefeated, 166-0.
she never lost him. She has no idea what that depression and defeat and humiliation
Yeah, well, she
feels
lost
like.
a few in high school and in college and stuff like that. But
Okay.
in high school, never lost a match.
That is stunning. Very
Yes.
impressive.
Hey, Pat, really quick. You're reminding me of an email we got about a week or two ago. A gentleman was wondering about spring training going down there. He said, I'm trying to find it here, but basically he had said, I don't think we'll be able to make it to a game at JetBlue, but do they do tours of that particular ballpark if we go to a Twins game or whatever? Do they do that kind of thing that they would for a regular Major League
I'm
Stadium?
sure the Red Sox would do anything to rip you off and get more money
Okay.
from you.
I didn't
That
know if they
place
did
is-
that for the spring
That
training
place is a
stadiums.
money gouge, man.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Okay.
There's like 5 times as many New Englanders down here as Minnesota people who just come down for spring training.
That's kind of what he was alluding to, that he lives here. He's a Red Sox fan, but he was going to go down there and do some Twins and Red Sox.
He can get in
and-
a game if you want to.
okay.
He can get in a game too, but
I
I'm
saw-
sure they do tours.
Did you see what the attendance at the Yankee game was? 10,170 for their opener.
Yeah, that's a huge,
Are you kidding?
No, for their home spring training opener.
Well, the Cubs out in Arizona now draw 15,000 a game.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
who cares
spring
about the
training.
stupid Cubs?
All right, we gotta take our break here, Patrick. We will return. Sports Talk will be back. Everybody back? Oh no, we're missing Suchi Boy. All right, time for Johnny Heights.
Boys, he's down here in Naples.
Oh,
He's about He's about 6 miles away from me. I haven't heard from him.
Yeah, that's typical.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah. Somebody says, are you going to see Wanger's down here? He says, are you going to see Suture right when you're down here? I said, I didn't know he was down here.
Yeah.
Well, you know why? It's Friday after 3.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Right.
That's true. You know who else I'm related to, boys, in addition to Cousin Kyle?
Well,
I'd really
Tim
like to know.
McNiff.
what? Really?
Tim McNiff. My Uncle Frank O'Rourke was married to my mother's sister, and Uncle Frank's brother Cyril is Tim McNiff's grandfather.
Crazy.
Oh,
Wow.
What's that make us? Sixth, seventh cousin? Something like that?
You're
You
the
know?
Kevin
Fifth?
Bacon of Twin Cities Media.
Yes, fifth, sixth. See, we got Cousin Kyle. I can't even remember what the connection with Cousin Kyle is, but we're somewhere out there, man. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
You don't hear the name Cyril much these days.
No, you did. That was a good old Irish name back in the day, though. Cyril. You know.
Sunny and 32 degrees. Girls State Hockey Tournament action today in Class A games. Breck shut out Proctor Hermantown 6-0.
Oh no! The private school is going to win again and make everybody mad.
Alexandria did jump out to a 1-0 lead over Warroad, but, it's been all Warroad since then. Now 7-1 in the third period.
Not many people know more about the tradition of girls hockey in Minnesota than you, John. How
That's
many
right.
times have Warroad and Breck played in the state title game? Several, I would guess.
Several. I'll go with
They're-
several.
Warroad's much more of a powerhouse now in girls hockey than they were in boys, right, Rookie?
Yes, they are. And I would say also to this Alexandria team, they won in 2008. They took home all the marbles.
Alexandria did?
Alexandria won in 2008.
Really?
Otherwise, it was just Blake, Warroad. Yeah, I mean, they were all up there.
Tonight in the Class AA semifinal, Centennial and Egan will play at 6 o'clock. Edina and Eden Prairie at 8 this evening.
What time does feisty St. Paul United play for the third place trophy tomorrow, Rook?
Sophia will be in the penalty box by about 10-12. So game starts at 10. She'll be in the box by 10-12.
Did she do some time in the last couple of days?
She did not in the first game against Alexandria, but she was in the box yesterday against New Ulm, as Patrick would say.
Does
She a little charging or roughing or what?
She
was
sits
it?
in front of the net, and they beat the crap out of her, and
Then she
will
she
retaliate.
retaliates.
She'll retaliate and say, I've had enough of this crap, and then she always gets called for it.
So does Sophia wear makeup? I ask.
Yes.
I when she's on the ice.
I believe so, yes.
Because, Royce, it's the funniest thing in the world watching the Olympics and seeing these girls go and sit forlorn in the penalty box. The cute little things wearing makeup.
Really? They wear makeup
And they get out. They get out on the ice and they're little thugs. But but they get into this penalty box and they got the makeup and they look so
Doesn't
sweet.
it get a little runny? There must be a really high end type of makeup. that
Well,
it
my
doesn't run
Sophia
all
doesn't
over the
wear
face.
all that eye stuff. A lot of the girls wear a bunch of eye. She doesn't do that eye stuff.
By the way, was that a duck I heard?
Yeah, no
That
kidding.
sounded like a mallard.
Let me check. I don't know. I
No,
think
it was a crow. I think it was a
I think it
crow.
was another
That's
crow.
a hen, and all those mallards are
You know
following
what?
her.
As many crows as we have back in Minnesota, they got them down here because there's just more creatures. You know, there's more stuff to eat.
Right.
Laying dead around the roads.
Yeah, a lot of
more,
road
more
kids on
stuff gets smashed on the roads down here than it does in Minnesota.
Twins lose to Boston 4-3 this afternoon in their Major League opening exhibition game. Aaron Slager started. He went 2 innings for the Twins, no hits, 2 strikeouts. The damage by Boston done against lefty Dietrich Enns. who gave
Yeah,
up
the
3
guy you
runs.
gave us last year, Johnny.
Yep.
Didn't the Yankees give Dietrich to us last year?
Yes, and he gave up 3. So,
Yes.
the Timberwolves with a tough one tonight. They're in Houston where they'll play the Rockets.
Britt Robson will be with us about 4:15 to discuss if there's, this. By the time this next 8-9 games over, this team might be hanging on by their fingernails to a playoff spot. We'll talk to Britt about that.
News notes from today. University of Minnesota President Eric Kaler said today the school will postpone a decision to close the U's Child Development Center, which provides daycare for nearly 150 children. Faculty, staff, and students at the school were speaking out against the administration's plan to close the center in summer of 2019 after learning of it in a letter from school officials last month. The closure would pave the way for an expansion of the Shirley G. Moore Lab School. But in today's letter, Kaler said the center will not be closed, quote, until we have an alternative or alternatives in place to allow for a smooth transition for children and for staff.
So this was strictly for staff members, not for students?
Correct.
Oh, I
Staff
gotcha.
members.
We had to spend that $170 million on the athletic facility. We can't afford any daycare.
Right, yeah, forget the kids.
Looks like that Alexandria War Road game is over now.
That's in the books? Okay,
7-1 War Road, final. A vehicle struck a security barrier near the White House this afternoon in what law enforcement says appears to be an intentional act. The source said the female driver, an out-of-state resident with Tennessee plates, is known to the Secret Service. The vehicle did not breach the security barrier surrounding the White House. The White House has been placed on lockdown. No law enforcement personnel were injured in the incident. No shots fired. It took place as President Trump was inside the White House after holding a press conference with Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull. Mounting consumer.
How do we get along with Australia? Are we buddies?
Great. They were.
We're good.
They were backhanding each other like crazy.
Is Malcolm? Is he to the right side of the political spectrum?
That I do not know, but he was very complimentary of the president and the U.S.
really?
today.
Well, that's all it takes, baby. You'll be his best friend. Just praise him.
When you meet with them, it's always necessary to at least make one Crocodile Dundee reference or...
Oh, my God.
One men at work. Hey, how are those guys? They still working down under over there?
I told you when I was in Sydney, I was in a bar when the opening ceremonies were going on because I didn't have a ticket for the opening ceremonies. And when the men at work sang Down Under, they were crying as if it was God Bless America.
Are you kidding
The
me?
people in the bar were emotionally overwrought at the
come
wonder
on.
of this patriotic song.
Wow.
Nothing.
No, they
Nothing.
love it.
Wow.
They love it more than their anthem.
It's the worst song ever written.
Could you imagine if Fergie had come out and butchered from a land down
They
under?
would have
Yeah.
gone after it. But nothing brings the emotions to your face and your tears swelling than you hear this. I mean, one of the best flutes ever, huh? And this guy was practicing right here.
Of course, they had them there. What made them special in Australia that day was that they were there. You know,
I think
of the arena.
There might be, my memory is really fuzzy, but I may have seen these guys warming up Van Halen.
No way.
At the Civic Center in the early 80s.
For real?
It
Could have
might have
happened,
it
yeah.
might have been this band warming
That
them
wouldn't
up.
surprise me.
Did they start with this?
Jesus God. I'm going to come over there, Rook.
You're going to get triple tackled here if you don't.
You want me back? You guys said welcome back.
Go back home.
Okay.
The all-electric Chevrolet Bolt was named one of the top 10 vehicles of this year in Consumer Reports' annual car rankings. However, Chevrolet and most other Detroit-based names finished in the bottom half ranking of 34 automotive brands. The Bolt, first sold in a 2017 model, was honored in part for being the first affordable all-electric car with sufficient range without running out of battery power between charging stations. Genesis, the luxury brand of Hyundai, just begun in 2015, edged out Audi for the top spot. Following Audi, BMW, Lexus, and Porsche rounded out the top 5. Chrysler jumped 4 spots from last year to number 11. That made it the highest Detroit-based brand. And Jeep, which like Chrysler is a brand of Fiat Chrysler, finished 33rd out of 34. Jeep was one of 10 brands that had none of its vehicles make the record.
Yeah, but I got news for you people with the ratings. Our Fiat stock is making us money.
Well,
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going up.
Huh.
It's been going up, yes.
No wonder Such is on vacation all the time.
Yes, right.
You know what you need to invest in, though,
What?
Patrick? It'd be a great thing if you invested in music.
Yes.
Oh my God, Kenny's gonna kill him.
Oh, my God. That didn't even make any sense at all.
I know, but it
Just wanted to,
was a stretch, but I just had to get it in one more time.
A stretch? Wow. Oh, look at the time.
All right, Johnny, we'll be back.
All right, what are we going to go out with?
No.
No, I won't do that to you. I won't do that to you. I won't do that to you.
too.
No, I won't. Here we go.
So Kenny, we just had a murder of crows up here doing the slow circle, maybe 30, 40 yards above the stadium, and maybe at a depth as they're making their circle. There had to be 20 of them, and they're at different depths. And then there's this is one deck down there, so there's an overhang here, and the little birds are all just running in there, hiding as best they can. These, you know what they remind me of purse snatchers who just kind of walking down the street acting like, we're not doing anything here. Don't worry, fellas.
Right. No, I'm okay. No, I don't have an ID on me. What are you talking about?
No, then they're going to come down and eat them.
Now, in Florida, you don't happen to know the hunting laws down in Florida, because up here in Minnesota we have a crow season, but you can shoot crows out of season if they're going to or about to do damage.
Wow.
So every
and you
time
can define damage as damn near anything you want.
Right. So every time we see a crow, my kid goes, that crow looks like he's about to do some damage.
Well, I think their whole intention in life is to do damage when they're up there circling. We're not doing anything. Don't pay any attention to us.
What does it mean, though, in South Minneapolis when all of a sudden there's 80 of them in one tree?
That's what
Probably
I
a body
know.
somewhere.
All of a sudden there were 30 of them here, and then they just left.
That's super
They were up
creepy.
to something, man.
I don't know if I want to shoot one, because I'm pretty sure they'll retaliate somehow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'll get you. Yeah.
So, Patrick, what you're trying to tell me then is that those crows came from a land down under?
Or if you don't know who those crows are, you would say,
Johnny Height with a
thank you, Pat.
attempt to interrupt this.
Men at work
nonsense.
day here at these stations.
This is the kind of
I always
day.
liked Be Good Johnny. Remember that
Oh,
one?
I'll look for that.
Fans and collectors alike are buzzing over a 1966 Batmobile for sale in Florida.
Cool.
Car's in superb condition. It looks great and was autographed by 4 stars of the original TV show in 1966, the Batman version with Adam West. Right above the twin windscreens on the dorsal roll are the signatures of Julie Newmar and Lee Meriwether, both who portrayed Catwoman, Burt Ward, who was Robin, and Adam West, who was Batman. West, of course, passed away last year. The car runs and drives. It's been featured at many special events like Comic-Con. Well, not the original 1966 TV car created by famed customizer George Barris. The replica has been attributed to Bob Butts, a Barris collaborator. Butts built his cars from the original forms used to create the first Batmobile.
I think it was built on a Impala frame, actually, if I remember right.
That I do not know.
I think so.
The angles, the way...
You know who would like that name?
Bob Butts?
Sir
Chris?
Mix-a-Lot.
Your boys would think that
Oh,
was really
yeah.
funny. Bob
Oh,
Butts.
they would.
Potty talk is a big hit in my house.
Over in Boca Raton, when the grandkids lived over there, we had to drive by Butts Road every day.
Oh,
and they
man.
just thought it was hysterical.
Well, they're not
the
the only
highlight of
one.
their day.
It sounds pretty damn funny to me, too.
I'd probably take a selfie with it and make my profile.
The current estimated auction value is $350,000 plus.
Goodness.
Wow.
In fact, Patrick,
I bet it gets lousy mileage, John.
Probably.
in
And
fact,
by the way, Butts is actually spelled B-U-T-T-S, Bob Butts.
oh, wow.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
there's not a Z in there.
To prove your theory accurate, Patrick, when we went to the San Diego Zoo last week, that's all we had to worry about is where's his butt, Dad? When we go by the various animal cage.
Oh, my God, he's just like his dad. Oh, crap.
And then after they see the monkeys at the zoo, it's monkey butt. It's
Oh, yeah.
nonstop.
Monkey
I
butt.
got monkey butt.
Dad, how come it's red?
And they're just shout out the questions right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know who's got a hard time hiding his butt? A baboon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They got the very, very prominent.
That's tough. That's
Kind of
tough
a
for them.
badonkadonk, isn't it?
Right.
Now I kind of wish there was a story about a woman who has a 60-inch butt, but I didn't bring it in. I wish I
Okay.
had now. She
All
says
right.
she stops traffic. It's in Great Britain.
That a girl.
I mean,
bet she
literally
is.
like a bus runs into her and it just stops.
A New Jersey archbishop raised a few eyebrows when he tweeted, "Nighty-night, baby. I love you." But his spokesman said it was an errant message intended for his sister.
Oh, okay.
Cardinal Joseph
That's funny. I haven't talked to my sister in 6 years.
Cardinal Joseph Tobin, spokesman, said the leader of the Newark Roman Catholic Archdiocese later deleted the tweet because it was being misinterpreted.
Misinterpreted, yes.
Spokesman Jim Goodness said Tobin has 8 younger sisters, and they're all his baby sisters. Goodness said he doesn't know how the siblings were communicating before the message was tweeted out. The full tweet read, "Supposed to be airborne in 10 minutes. Nighty-night, baby. I love you." 65-year-old Tobin was...
Seems kind of nice to me.
Yeah,
it seems
exactly.
like a nice gesture, yes.
Older brother sending you that.
Sure,
It's a
right.
nice thing.
That seems creepy.
You were just born too far north and too far west, Kenny.
Who the hell talks to their sisters other than on holidays and maybe my birthday?
What are you, some kind of creep?
It's not my birthday. Why are you calling me?
Is someone dead?
A man who heard a strange sound coming from the engine of his car in Thailand took a look under the hood.
We got a snake, right? Big
We got
snake.
not only a snake, we got a king cobra.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's the one that has the thing, that neck that comes out?
The hood?
Yeah, they
The hood.
stick up and look around to see what they can snap at.
55-year-old
Poisoned to death.
55-year-old Tachai Kongnamit
Oh, him.
said his Nissan was parked outside of his home at Surat Thani, and he heard the noise when he was preparing to drive to the store.
Johnny, why do you do this to yourself?
I know
Names.
how to scare him off. I'd give him the old, look at this king cobra. Here's the hood.
Wow.
You watch that thing run away, huh?
Maybe we're not happy you're back.
It'll get up on its hind legs and take off.
He called local authorities who summoned snake catcher.
Manny just walked in, and I can read the look on his face is like, what the hell with these crackers? I mean, it's so obvious on your face right now, Manny. You cannot hide
There's a little
it.
mix, a little disdain. There's
He just says, for once, I wish I'd have to walk in the room and be the coolest guy in the room.
Chai called local authorities. They summoned the snake catcher. He has a name, too, of course.
You know, you do this on purpose. You act innocent,
Right.
Hype,
Why
but you
do
do
you
this
taunt?
on
That's
purpose.
taunting.
I don't know what you're talking about. The snake catcher's name is Tanawat Num.
Oh.
Tanawat said the capture went smoothly. The snake will be safely released back into the wild. He said it's rare that we see a wild king cobra this big. That's Be Good Johnny's, and by Ben at Work, you're good, right?
as requested by Johnny.
All righty, John. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
We'll be back to wrap up Sports Talk and preview the ride. Don't be a bad boy, Johnny.
And play the fool.
Let me check my schedule here.
What do you got, brah?
Can't rely on my memory. That's for damn sure.
Well, that's why you
Well,
put
we're
down
going
a
to
schedule
introduce
every day.
we're going to introduce the Friday Fun Fest musical guest at 4:00.
Okay,
Then we have Britt Robson to talk about the Timberwolves at 4:15.
Do they have to wait for
Wetmore will be back from JetBlue Park and give us a live update on what happened with the Twins today.
now?
And Myron Metcalf to talk about the basketball scandal at 5:03.
Ooh. All right. Now, can
What
we?
were you going to say?
Yeah. Can I give a primetime music preview, or is that embargoed until you release? You can't. I can't reveal the information early like you do for the Olympics.
Yeah,
right?
we kind of revealed it yesterday, but
Oh, you did?
if you weren't listening yesterday, we got a great surprise for you. So we started 2 weeks ago with Linda Ronstadt, and we're trying to maintain that same level of greatness. It's not easy.
It really isn't easy, but if anybody can do it, your production team, who is behind me right now, I know that they can pull it off.
You damn betcha.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Thank you, Patrick, live from Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers. And you are tuned to 1500 ESPN, which is KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis. The ride is next on a Friday afternoon.